Well, 8:30 sharp, my house lifted up off the foundation and floated into the neighbor's house. The house on the upper side of mine come in, floated in against my house, knocked my house off of its foundation. They both went into my neighbor's house. And the water, I could not see over the top of that when it first come in sight. The only warning we had was just a neighbor woman had spotted it and just pulled in front of our house and hollered, "Run, the dam has broke." And then you could hear the roar of it, and you could see it. I saw my neighbors' houses leave. I watched them crumble. I seen trees, logs, cars, slate, slush, you name it, and it was in that. After we got through to safety and all and turned around, I saw 5 houses floating down the creek, and you could walk on from one to the other. One house particularly, I don't know who they were. At the time I didn't know who they were, but I found out later they was the Ballard and Janice Lou Carter family. There was 5 of them in the house.
They never got out?
No, they're all gone.
My neighbors come and woke me and my wife up on Saturday morning. I'd got up to fix fires up and watching television with my kids, and the power went off. And they come and knocking on the door and hollering and said the dam broke up. Well, we'd been expecting maybe to hear this word because we'd stayed up till 2 o'clock at night watching for the flood because the waters was high and we was afraid we might get washed out then. But it still hadn't dawned on us until we looked around and we'd seen our neighbors running around like crazy trying to warn everybody the dam had broke. Well, we got ready and I run out on the creek bank with a bunch more of the men there. There's about 5 of us. We'd heard that there was a woman and a baby floating down the creek on part of a house. Well, we stayed out there until there was no longer any need for a stand there because the creek was getting up high, and they all took off and left me there by myself there. My wife had got the kids in the car and started up and was waiting on me. And it's just as I happened to look up out the side of my eye, I saw it coming. And I took off running for the car, and I warned the people down the creek as I went that the water was coming. They wouldn't believe me, and I told them, I said, well, look out there, you can see the houses coming down the creek. But still, they didn't believe. There was just a few took off. And we went on down the road then, warning more as we come along to them. And we got our kids to safety, and then we took off back to where we could see what was happening as damage was coming down the creek. We seen about 14 houses destroyed as they hit the bridge, and about 5 cars, and there was many lives lost. But this is the most tragic thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry that God let me live to see it.
In Logan County, where coal is the king, where the people work hard for most everything. On Buffalo Creek it was cloudy and gray, and the people were rising to meet a new day. The bacon was sizzling and the coffee was poured, but the dam up the holler couldn't hold any more. And the water raged down, smashed town after town. Homes dashed to pieces and whole families was drowned. How could it happen? Said, how could it be? That dam, it belonged to the coal company. An act of God, the bosses did cry. But God ain't that cruel, we can see through your lie. who ordered the dozer to build that dam, and who's living high off the work of our hands, who takes our coal but don't share in the fear. Yes, whose greed for money has cost us so dear. Yes, whose greed for money has cost us so dear.
There were various estimates of what it would have cost to build a dam properly, ranging from about $50,000 to about $200,000. Whichever figure you choose, it's obviously not very much. And the question that comes up about why Pittston didn't do it probably is a very large question in terms of why the coal industry has never done anything more than it has absolutely had to do in the area that it works in. You know, why do people strip mountains in Appalachia and not put it back, aside from the fact that you can't put it back from gravity? But I mean, why don't they even make the effort? Why do people not make the effort to clean up their mines until you have a Farmington disaster that causes such a storm of outrage that you get a federal law passed finally and they have to do something? Why don't they do it? Well, they don't do it because this industry has a long tradition of getting by on the cheap. You just keep on producing coal until something goes wrong, and you hope you're going to get by. And you sit up there in New York, and you look at the figures, and you forget all about the people living down there. Kamisha probably never knew that dam existed, probably never had any idea that it existed, and if told about it, probably would have put it in his basket, you know, to be dealt with at some point. And, you know, but it wasn't relevant. It just wasn't relevant.
I didn't see God driving them slate trucks up there and wearing a hard hull cap. I did not see that at no time when I visited the dam. That's the way I feel about it. I don't believe it was an act of God. It was an act of man.